Sadlier's webinar on connecting vocabulary knowledge with reading comprehension. My name is Janine Ferrara, and I am the Director of Product Management for all Sadlier's digital products and mathematics products. Today we are going to talk about Sadlier's Vocabulary Workshop Interactive Edition, but before we begin, I'd like to let everybody know that their microphones are on mute. So which means you can hear me, but I cannot hear you. So throughout the presentation, should you have any questions, I would appreciate it if you would put them in your chat box on your GoToWebinar navigation control panel, and I will address them at the end of the presentation. So connecting vocabulary knowledge with reading comprehension. One of the most important skills learned by students is the ability to understand written text, which is usually referred to as reading comprehension. And comprehension of text is the reason, or the ultimate goal, I should say, for reading. We really need to understand why we are reading, the ultimate understanding of the text. So in order for students to comprehend text, they must have a good understanding of the words that make up the text, which brings us to Vocabulary Workshop Interactive Edition, which is available for grades 1 through 12. And Vocabulary Workshop Interactive Edition is a digital version of Sadlier's print student edition. However, with the interactive edition, teachers, parents, and students can access an abundance of resources at point of use. Plus, it includes a management system with a robust reporting feature to access real-time data. And I'll take you through all the features and benefits today of the Vocabulary Workshop Interactive Edition. So let's get started. I've logged into Sadlier Connect, which is Sadlier's new learning platform where you can access all Sadlier digital products. And right now you're looking at a site license of Vocabulary Workshop Interactive Edition. It's available, as I mentioned, for grades 1 through 12 and available as a site license. And there's two options for the site license for grades 1 through 9 and a site license for 6 through 12. And so with a site license, this gives you access to all the materials at these different grade levels. And I should mention there are different users for the interactive edition. There are administrative users, teachers, students, as well as parents. So let's take a look at what the interactive edition looks like. I'm going to start with level E. I'm going to look into level E, and when I click on the desired grade level, I'm taking into the overview section of Vocabulary Workshop Interactive Edition. And here's where I'll find all my resources that are necessary to effectively implement the program. In the beginning, the number one resource that we would start off with is a diagnostic test. And know that the diagnostic test is usually administered at the beginning of each level to assess students' overall vocabulary skills. It is not a placement test. And know that we will be developing placement tests, but they are not available at this time. And so once I review the overview, I could choose any unit, desired unit, and let's come in, maybe I'll choose my unit 2. And when I come into my unit 2, you'll see all the material that is available for the Vocabulary Workshop program, and that material is organized, I should say, into these categories: instruction, student practice, customized assessments, student resources, and teacher resources. And I'm going to begin with the instruction. As I expand the instruction tab, you'll see that I'll have my unit passages and my definitions available to me. I'll view the unit passage and know that the unit passage are high-interest essays in a variety of genres that give practice with close reading of nonfiction text for students. At least 15 of the 20 featured unit words appear in the passage, and the reading passages help students master vocabulary and context. And these passages support the Common Core State Standards for reading literature and informational text. And you'll notice that once I click into the unit passage, I have these a toolbar at the top of the unit passage, which allows teachers to project, I should say, the unit passage in a whole class environment. So should I want to teach this in a whole class setting, these are great interactive whiteboard tools that you could use. This first icon puts us into full screen mode, and I'll show you that in a second. But know that you can increase the point size or change the point size of the passage to project, and I'll change it to large. And I also have an ink pen that I could use to highlight text. So I'm going to choose my red pen, and then I'm going to go into full screen mode. And by going into full screen mode, I'm able to use my pen to highlight specific vocabulary words or to identify clues, context clues for reading comprehension. And note, so that if I go back into my full screen mode, again, I could use these tools to help focus students in on the vocabulary words for the unit. And that's the unit passages. Viewing the definitions, know that the definitions at each level are a proven list of 300 words frequently found on standardized tests, and they're organized within the, they're organized within the 15 units. So the 300 words are organized within the 15 units, and each unit reviews 20 words each. And know that right now I'm viewing it as a teacher. Through the teacher, I logged in as a teacher, and you could see that I have my assets at point of use, so that I can click on our iWords program, which is a key component of the program, where students can actually hear each vocabulary word. It's the pronunciation of each word, the word used in a clear sentence, and its definition. And know that, again, I can go into full screen mode to project this if I want to go teach this with full class instruction. I could change the font size as well. But one of the features that I really like about the toolbar is I can go into single item mode. And by going into single item mode, I could project this one word at a time to focus in on one vocabulary word, and so that students are not distracted by the whole page by using the single item mode tool. And again, I'm projecting it as full screen. To go back into full screen mode or into teacher mode, I can click on the full screen mode. It brings me back into so that I could see the full page, the full definitions page. And know that every assignment is printable. So I could print the definitions page should students not have access to a computer. Going back to the different categories, we viewed the instruction, the unit passage, and the definition. But know that words are reviewed in several contexts to help lead to mastery. So students are exposed to the different question types, choosing the right word, where students have to choose the word that better completes each sentence. Synonyms and antonyms, where students select words from the unit that are most similar or opposite in meaning to the boldface word. Completing the sentence, students use the words from the unit to complete the sentence. And here's a new feature to the program, writing words in action feature. And let's take a look at that. And the writing words in action feature aligns to the Common Core writing standards. And here's where students are given 2 writing prompts. Students use the unit words in the first prompt to respond to questions about the opening passage. So they have to go back and review, answer questions based on the passage. And the second prompt is modeled on those writing prompts that are most likely found on standardized tests such as the SAT. So this is a new feature, the writing words in action feature. And another new feature is the vocabulary in context literary text. And let's take a look at this. And the vocabulary in context literary text is here's where students answer questions based on excerpts from recognized literature. Again, this helps students understand the meaning of the vocabulary words, and it's a big part of the Common Core, and it addresses the reading literature standards. And again, you still have for every assignment the teacher tools available to you, where you can go into full screen mode, you can adjust the font size, you could use your ink pen to highlight specific parts of the assignment. You can go into single item mode, as well as you could print the assignment. And so here's where we give students practice with the vocabulary words in a variety of contexts. I'm going to skip over for the moment the customized assessments and come back to that and go into the assessment section. And here's where you'll find all the assessments in the program as well as a built-in test generator. So we could take a quick look at the built-in assessments, these pre-formatted assessments that are ready for you to assign. I'm going to click the little icon here to view. This is the unit assessment, and I can scroll down to see what the unit assessment looks like for this particular unit. Or I can come back into my assessment category and I could build my own assessment. And this is really nice because I can customize assessments based on the needs of my class. And many times when I'm in classrooms, teachers have expressed a concern to me that their students are not ready for 20 words at one time. And here's where you can build an assessment based on as many words as your students can handle. So should your students only be able to handle 10 definitions or 15 definitions, you can create a customized assessment, or I should say an assignment based on student needs. Because this program is available as a site license, you have access to all the grade level content depending on the site license that you choose. So if I chose a site license for grades 1 through 9, you have access to all the content at grades 1 through 9. If I chose a site license for grades 6 through 12, I have a site license. I have access to all content at 6 through 12. So here's where I can come in and I can choose my grade level. I could choose my unit. I could choose my question type. So say, for example, I just want to focus in on multiple choice type questions. Right now I'm going to choose all, or maybe just focus in on definitions. I will choose my I'll choose my category definitions. But before I go in and apply the filter, just know that all the questions that are available for this unit appear down at the bottom of your screen. So I can expand my antonyms to view the antonym questions. I can expand my completing the sentence to see the completing the assessment questions. Right now, I'm going to come back up and I'm going to apply my filter because right now I only want to see my definitions. I'm going to give my test a name. I'm going to call it definitions test. And then I'm going to come down and I could click and drag my questions to build maybe an assignment of only 10 vocabulary words. And notice it's quick and easy to build an assignment. And then I can come in here and I can preview my assignment, what my assignment might look like. I can go back and edit my assignment. So should I not want to include a certain definition, I can just click and drag it back over into the definition area. So again, I'm going to come down and I'm going to save my work. And now you'll see if I come back up under my custom assessments, you'll see my definition test appears here. And this is where I can go now and assign it to my students. And I'll come in and assign assignments in a moment, but let's take a quick look at the student resources. So I've taken you through the instruction, the student practice, the assessments, and the student resources. Here are the student resources available for each unit. You have your flashcards and your hangman and your word search and your iWords. And if I was to click to view the flashcards for that unit, know that I can go into full screen mode and I could project this, and as a class, as a whole class, I could review the different interactive games available for the unit, which reviews the unit words. Again, our iWords program is an important feature of the program where students can listen to the correct pronunciation of each vocabulary word, listen to the definition, as well as it's an example use in a sentence. So here's where you'll have your all your different student resources available to you and your students at point of use. And your teacher resources are your answers to your practice pages, your quizzes. You'll see various different teacher resources available to you under this category. So I've taken you through your instruction where you'll find your unit passages and your definitions. The student practice where words are reviewed in a variety of contexts to help students lead to mastery of the vocabulary words. You're customizing your program assessments where you could build your own assessments or assignments, or you could use our program assignments. Your student resources, all the different student resources that are available to you, and your teacher resources. So now let's come in and I want to show you how quickly it is to implement vocabulary during reading instruction. I'm going to click on the definitions, and I'm going to click on actually the assign icon. I'm going to come in and I'm going to choose my class, and know that I did not go through setting up students and classes and teachers. Should you choose to implement the program, we would be more than happy to take you through the implementation setup, but know that it is fairly easy where you can import your class roster with a CSV file, import your teacher roster with a CSV file, and associate students with a class. So, and also know that when entering your students, you can also choose to create class groups. So right now I have class groups as bluebirds and redbirds. These groups could be for your struggling learners, students who need additional support, or those students who are ready for a challenge. So within a class, know that you can group students and assign assignments to a particular group. So right now I'm just going to choose my class 101, and I'm going to choose a different unit right now because the red down here is telling me that I already assigned this unit to my class. So now I chose Unit 5. I chose my definitions, and you'll see that the standards that are addressed in this definitions assignment appear here, are identified here. And then I have the opportunity to customize a start and end date. By default, it's today's date, and the end date is 7 days out. I could choose to change that end date should I desire. And then I have the opportunity to scramble the questions, and I always encourage our teachers to scramble the questions so that no two students have the same order of questions, which is really nice. It just adds another level of security. And the other thing I would mention is any assignment that includes multiple choice type questions, know that those multiple choice type questions, the distractors, are also scrambled as well. And then I have the opportunity to exclude the assignment from reports or not, or include it. So by not checking it, I'm going to include this assignment for reporting purposes. And then I would come down here and I would assign this assignment to my students, and I could do that one of two ways. I could come in and individually check those students. Maybe I only want to assign that student to a select group, or I can come up here and I could select it to all my students in my class. Once I do that, I click the Save button, and now my assignments are automatically scored. I should say automatically assigned to my students. So as I mentioned, there are different user types. I'm logged in as a teacher. I'm going to log out as a teacher and log in as a student so that you could see the student interface. I'm logging in as a student, and know that all users, administrators, teachers, students, and parents, and I will talk about parents in a second, would go to sadlierconnect.com and log in. So this is one URL, which is sadlierconnect.com, and they will all log in, the different users at sadlierconnect.com. So I'm logged in as a student, and when you're logged in as a student, this is the interface the student will see. To the left, you will see all the different resources that are available to that student. Know that with a site license, that students also have access to the online resources. So I'm going to scroll down to my vocabulary workshop, and I didn't filter this, so I apologize. I'm going to scroll down to vocabulary workshop and click on my level D, and you could see that these are all the resources that I have available as a student for each particular unit. These are the interactive games and the Black Line Masters that student and the practice page that students will have access to. So again, students have access to all the online resources. If I go back to my home page, up at the top left, you'll see students will see the assignments that he or she or they have been assigned. They'll see the assignment name, the title, and the due date, and their progress, their status, whether they've started it or it's in progress or they've submitted it. And in the bottom, you'll see students have access to their graded assignments. Students can actually come over and click on their assignments to see which exercises they scored correctly or incorrectly. So I can go back to my home page and review any of the assignments that have been scored. And note that this is also what the parents will see. The parents will see the assignments that students need to complete, as well as the graded assignments and all the online resources. Know that obviously the parents cannot take the assignments; they don't have that capability. But this is what the parents' interface will look like as well. And also know that there's a messaging system, an internal messaging system built into Vocabulary Workshop Interactive Edition. And this messaging system allows students to communicate with their teacher. Know that students cannot communicate with administrators or their parents, but students can actually come in and send an email message to their teacher should they need additional assistance, as well as the parents can communicate with the teacher as well. We know that some schools don't, some students don't have email addresses in schools, so this is a nice way that parents and teachers and students can communicate with their teachers. So let's look at an assignment that a student would take. I know that the students can also change the font size of the assignment. Their student resources are available at point of use. I can click on the resource and listen to the resource.
Diffident is a noun, meaning modest or lacking in self-confidence.
And that's our iWords program, so all these resources are available at point of use for students. And students would actually come in and actually type their answer in the word space and move on to the next answer. What I will tell you is that spelling counts. The system will mark an answer incorrect if the spelling or the tense of the word is entered incorrectly. Students can actually save their progress, can scroll down here and save my assignment, and come back and answer this at a later time. So that you could see, here's my assignment list. I viewed my passages. I actually submitted my writing words and actions. This assignment for these definitions assignments have expired. I did not answer. I did not submit them. These are assignments that I have not started, and here's one that is in progress. So again, if I come back to my home screen as a student, this is the student interface. These are the assignments that students have to take, graded assignments, and my resources. So I'm going to log back out. I'm going to log out as a student, and I'm going to log back in now as a teacher. And when I log back in as a teacher, I'm taken to my bookshelf. This is my site license that I have available to me, all the Vocabulary Workshop titles. But I'm going to come over to my dashboard, my teacher dashboard. And what the teacher dashboard is it gives, at a glance, teachers an idea of what's going on in the class. If there are any student alerts or class alerts, I'm able, as a teacher, to set alerts should students dip below a certain proficiency level in my alert preferences here. Should they trigger an alert when a student falls below 65 and escalate an alert, send me an alert when my class, 75% of my students have dipped below 65%. So here's where you can see your alerts, all your assignments that you've assigned and the status of them. You could see how many have submitted their assignments. I've assigned this to one student, and that student has not submitted it yet. And then I'm alerted to the assignments that I need to grade. And know that the writing words in action feature are assignments that need to be manually scored, that we do not have assignments that the writing assignments are automatically scored. So to score them, I would come in, click on that assignment, and I will see each question that needs to be manually scored. So here's the question 1 on writing words in action. And then I can come down and see all the students have answered that question, and here's the student response, and I've just entered that this is a sample response. And I can come in and use a 4-point scale to score that item, and then I can also include a teacher note for that student, and then move on to the next unscored item, which is item number 2 in the writing words in action feature. So here, that's how you can come in and score any assignments that need to be manually scored, and they're mostly the writing words in action feature. And so then after you've assigned the assignments and students have taken these assignments and they're automatically scored, you could generate various reports. Your class assessment reports provides a snapshot of the class as a whole on the entire program. Your proficiency report provides a report by standards. Your student scores report provides a percent score for each assignment. And your student trend shows student progress over an 8-week period. And then your tracking report tracks what students have done from going in and out of the assignments. It tracks IP addresses to track where the answers were entered from. And I will show you, so know that there are various reports, and administrators do have additional reports. That would be the administrator of your account, either your principal, your department chair, or could be even a teacher who's your administrator. But to view a report, you would actually come in and select your class. You could select your students. I'm going to select all students, and I'm going to apply the filter to show me everything that's been graded for this class. And I know, so this is my English Language Arts class. I could drill down to see where my students fall in a particular with the particular standard. Again, the proficiency report is a report by standard. And with that, and to be mindful of your time, I know we wanted to keep this to a 30-minute webinar. This is, in a brief overview, our Vocabulary Workshop Interactive program. And know that, again, it's a digital version of our student edition with all print and digital resources at point of use, not only for the teacher, but for the student, with one easy, simple login at sadlierconnect.com. And with that, I'm going to open it up to any questions that you might have. Okay, so one of the questions is, where can I find the cost for each site license? So you could find the cost to Vocabulary Workshop Interactive Edition on our e-store. If you were to go to sadlier.com and choose vocabulary, you'll be able to find the cost for the interactive edition. And know that it is a site license, and it's based on enrollment per building. And so, yes, another question is, if I'm a school of K-12, do I need 2 site licenses? Yes, that would be definitely 2 site licenses. And yes, this webinar is being recorded, so know that you will be able, when Sadlier sends out our thank you for attending this webinar, you will receive a recording of this webinar. And know that you can also go to our preview site where you'll be able to find additional information on this program. And I will type it in our chat box. The preview site is www.sadlier.com/preview, VWEE. And if you were to go to that preview site and you click on Vocabulary Workshop Interactive Edition, know there is a brief promotional video on this program to show you the features and benefits of the program. And so one other question is, does Sadlier Connect grade and check individual student progress on homework and quizzes? Yes. So for those assignments that can be automatically scored, the fill in the blanks, the multiple choice, those questions are automatically scored, but know that all writing exercises need to be addressed, I should say, scored manually, and that's how you would go in through your writing, like I showed you the writing words in action feature, and score that manually. Are the site licenses based on a school year or when the PO comes in? You can actually start a site license at any time. You could put your purchase in today and tell me you want to start it in September. We can actually start that then. So it is definitely based on however, whenever you'd like the begin and end date to occur. Do you have individual pricing available for private school students? The pricing that I will tell you is available on our website, on our e-store, and that is available for all users, whether private schools or public. And with that, again, I want to be mindful of your time. I'm sorry about if I could not. I just saw the question about making my screen larger. I hope that you were able to see it. Should you have any questions, please feel free to email us or contact your local representative, and you can find your local representative at sadlier.com. And again, I hope to see you on future webinars. Thank you for joining us.